What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a little bit of a different video today. As you can tell, I've got the face cam going. We're going to take a look at the best baseball prop, in my opinion, at least to profit from baseball betting. Kind of as we know that there are a lot of factors that go into a baseball game. I mean, it is a 9-inning game, and there are so many different pitchers that could pitch in a possible game that it's hard to definitively tell which team is going to do what on what day. So there are some props out there that are much easier to kind of handicap, and that's going to be what I go over today. And that exact prop is going to be a strikeout prop. So basically, every sports book typically has a strikeout prop for each pitcher and how many they're going to throw, and we're going to take a look at how to kind of get a start at handicapping those props. So there's 5 stats I'm going to go over today that are relevant for this prop. The first one's going to be K per 9. So as we can see up on the screen, there's a table from the website Fangraphs. K per 9 kind of just tells you how many strikeouts a pitcher would throw if they were to pitch a 9-inning game. So it's cumulated over the season. So, if a pitcher throws 5 strikeouts in a 5-inning performance and then they throw 6 strikeouts in a 4-inning performance, they're going to have an 11 K per 9 because it's just number of strikeouts over the course of the season divided by 9 innings. So it's a good number. It's a good estimate to see roughly how many strikeouts a pitcher is going to throw per outing. And you can see in the table, it kind of gives you the league averages in terms of what's good and what isn't for a K per 9. So you can go through, excellence 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, greats 9, above average is a little over 8. Average is right around 7.7, below average is 7, poor is 6, and awful is 5. That'll come into play when I show you guys a pic of the spreadsheet that I use to kind of handicap these games. But that's the K per 9, arguably the most important stat that we have for handicapping this prop. Stat number 2 is average innings pitched. So this is important because you kind of need to get an idea of how many outs a pitcher is going to record per outing. So if a guy is a 4-inning guy, he's only going to get 12 outs. So it's going to affect the number of strikeouts he might throw versus if he's a 6+ inning guy where he's going to get 18, maybe 20 outs per outing. That just gives him more of an opportunity to get strikeouts. He's going to face more hitters and get more hitters out. And this is just calculated by taking the average numbers of innings pitched, as you can see from the table from Baseball Reference, and dividing it by the number of games that he's started. And I go by career this early into the season because it's kind of hard to give proper judgment of how they're performing. But you could go off-season numbers or past couple seasons numbers. It all depends on how you want to do it. Now, the third and fourth stats that are relevant to this prop are also seen on this Baseball Reference table. They're hits per 9 and walks per 9. These aren't as important as the first two, but they are relevant from the pitcher's perspective because it'll affect how many batters he's going to face in a single game. So hits per 9 is the number of hits that a pitcher would give up per 9 innings pitched, and walks per 9 is the number of walks a pitcher would give up per 9 innings pitched. So I just use these as kind of a reference of roughly how many batters the pitcher's going to face. So if he's going to pitch a 5-inning game, he's going to record 15 outs. So there's 15 batters right there. And then let's say he gives up 5 hits and 2 walks on average in 5 innings. So he'll give up 5 hits, so 15 plus 5 is 20, and 2 walks would be 20 plus 2, 22. So he's going to face a total of 22 batters. So he's going to have 22 chances to record an out, and which 22 chances to record a strikeout as well. So it's just kind of increases the opportunity that pitcher has, whereas let's say a pitcher normally faces 18 batters in an outing versus 28 batters in an outing. He's going to have 10 more opportunities to get a strikeout because, again, those hits per 9 are on average. He may have a really good outing and get 24 outs or something like that versus 15 outs while facing the same number of hitters. It all kind of just depends on how the pitcher does that day, but it gives you a nice kind of estimate of what that pitcher you can expect that pitcher to throw on average. And then the fifth and final stat is actually not relevant for the pitcher, but it's relevant for the hitters that pitcher is facing today, and it's strikeout rates. As you can kind of see from the table in the Fangraphs, it gives you an idea of what's a good strikeout rate and what isn't a good strikeout rate. This basically tells you, on average, this hitter strikes out this percentage of time. So for every 10 at bats, this pitcher or this hitter is going to strike out, 2 out of 10 times, so 20%. Or, out of every 100 bats, 20 out of 100 times. It's just that percentage you can expect that hitter to strike out at. So the higher percentages mean that the hitter strikes out more frequently, while the lower percentages means that hitter puts the ball in play more often and doesn't strike out. So it's just a nice stat to look at to kind of get a judge of, hey, is this pitcher going up against a lineup that strikes out a ton, which will factor into the number of strikeouts that you would handicap, or is he going against a lineup that likes to put the ball in play, which would also play a factor. Now, I mentioned it earlier in the video, but here's a picture of the spreadsheet that I kind of use to handicap these props. As you can see in the top left, I've got the MLB pitcher strikeout stats and hitter strikeout stats. So you can see I've got those tables in here just as a reference. It's just nice to have. And then the pitcher stats, I'll put the name up here in the orange box. And then you can see I've got the K per 9, walks per 9, and hits per 9. I've got a cell for the projected innings pitched. And then based on these numbers, I have different formulas that can tell me, all right, the pitcher's going to face this many batters. Each hitter's going to get this many at-bats. And here's the K per 9 conversion rate based on league average. So, and all of these numbers play a factor in the final projected strikeout line. As you can see, there's a cell for that. And the projected lineups, I also have the order of the lineup and the percentage for strikeouts for each hitter. So if you look at below that, the total projected strikeouts, that'll tell me, hey, this guy's going to get, 3 at-bats against this pitcher. He's going to strike out roughly, whatever it is, 14% of the time, depending on the hitter. So it'll take that number of at-bats and multiply it by the number of times that hitter typically strikes out on average, and it'll give me a number. And at the bottom, it'll give me a sum, which also plays a factor into the final projected strikeout line, which I have a formula for that I can get into in another video, but it would take really long, and this video is already kind of longer than the typical ones that I do. But that's just kind of how I have been handicapping these strikeout stats. I've had a little bit of success. I still think it's too early in the season to judge whether this the level of success that I'm having, but just kind of basic stats that are going into my predictions. Of course, each stat can be broken down much further in different categories. So, like, you could have pitchers that have different K per 9 averages against right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters. You could have hitters that have different strikeout rates versus left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers. It really just all depends on how deep into it you want to get and how much time you want to put into it. And again, like, this isn't an exact science. It's just kind of guessing and making kind of an informed decision based on the line that the books are giving you. So it'll just help you make a little bit more of an educated bet versus randomly throwing a number out there and having no idea what to expect. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the video. I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like. I know this is a bit complicated, and it can get even more complicated. If you'd like me to kind of go into the spreadsheet that I use and kind of break down everything, I would be more than happy to do so. Just kind of leave a comment and let me know, or just leave a like, and I'll take that as, yeah, I want to know more. But yeah, other than that, if you enjoyed the video and you're looking for more daily picks for, basketball, baseball, football when it starts up, definitely I'll be putting those videos out in this channel, and appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.